Alright, what's going guys? This is Bubbleknight here. Sorry for yesterday. The power went out also my house, so I couldn't do anything. So I had to trying to search for online on a phone game. That wasn't really the best because the mic just sucks. So let's look at where we are. We on Ashton's. This is gonna be a gigantic chapter to do. Holy crap, dude. And there seems to be only maybe one or two endings for him, but he seems to be the brave type, so let's see what's going on with him. Let's do it, guys. We're gonna get through this. Alright? Parties have never been really my thing. They're always such a hassle. It takes too much time off my day. Other prior plans and commitments canceled, all for the sake of playing along with others.
Welcome everyone.
I've hated them, even as a child.
Please make yourselves at home.
But Mom often insists me dressing me up for these when I was a little boy. She slicked my hair back, put me in one of those stuffy dinner jackets, and if there are any children around, urged me to make friends. Never mind how ugly, loud, and tedious it can be. It was all for the sake of keeping up appearances, pretending to play nice with others. To some extent, lies and intrigues have already surrounded me, long before I have chosen what I want to do with my life. Luckily, there are some easy ways to tune everything out, and much to my mom's frustration, I've almost managed to sneak my CD player along back then. I kept myself into my music, had my own little world, until I learned to observe. Sure, all it took was a mom confiscating my player during one social function, but when left with nothing to do, watch people appear to much interesting activity. More so, frightening a curious face, while a snot-nosed kid babbled about his shiny new toy. In fact, it still is. It's a simple matter of awareness, really. And for someone with keen eyes, a skewed necktie or a simple flick of the wrist alone can tell a volume about a person. I still don't like parties, especially ones as big as fancy as a riot housewarming. However, when there's actual reason to go in them, I figure they're not too bad.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Besides, like it or not, it's all part of the job. I'm here on a mission. One that has the name Luke Wright plastered all over it. You think the man will want to remain inconspicuous after his name has been linked to several high-profile crimes across Luxembourg? Granted, most of it has gone cold over the years, having stagnant without any leads or evidence, but it still doesn't make him any less suspect. Yet, there he is, throwing a party in his own backyard. Although having observed the men in the past year, I'm not even shocked. He craves it, the damn spotlight, constant yearn for attention like a neglected puppy. It doesn't take a genius to figure out why he's nowhere to be found in his own property. He likes waiting for opportunity, a grand entrance, but that's not the problem here. What pisses me off is how far his reach extends, how close he has creeped into a life of other people, the people I care about. Again, like a stubborn itch he can't be rid of. First, Professor Clark, then there's Isabella. I've also spotted Z-Man around here a while ago, and now there's also Rebecca.
Can't you at least act with a bit more shame?
Becca, if I find a single scratch on Shirley, there will be hell to pay.
Wow, so they start off Ashton right after the party. That's pretty good. There'll be hell to pay if he's so much harm a hair on either Zach or Rebecca's heads. So he does care. Worrying about Rebecca or Isabella brief hit dealing with him is stressing himself already. I doubt he'll attempt anything in front of other people though. Any untold action will tarnish his glorious reputation with his peers, and he values appearance more than anything. Prefers to do whatever disposal necessary as quietly as possible, away from the limelight. That doesn't necessarily mean he is capable of doing so. More than, in fact. And on the off chance that he pulls a stunt, I will be responsible for my actions.
Those guys know what they're doing. They're handling cars worth more than your precious Shirley.
For Zachary, Rebecca's sake, I really hope this simpler be another. I really hope this will simply be another housewarming, even though something tells me it's anything but. This despite freely share a brief laughter or two with the latter, when the conversation he has called for it. Call it detective intuition or whatever. When Luke Wright's involved, nothing good has ever come out of it. I simply can't let my guard down here. More than so. Nearby, a familiar face slow to a stop and out comes
Chief?
My presence here might be odd, I guess, but I have an excuse. That man, standing a few meters from me, hitting himself a year ago, served on the plate no less, along with the heavy helping of flattery and the newly promoted detective inspector. Can't exactly say the same for my good old boss, can I? Although to see him here, chatter with Luxembourg rich and famous isn't much of big surprise in itself. No disrespect meant, but the guy is obviously a social climber. What's surprising is the fact that he seems all too eager to mingle with a person of interest wife. Just what the hell is he doing
Ashton,
here?
what's...
Sorry, Becca. I just saw someone I need to catch up with. Longtime friend.
What the shit is going on here?
Wait, Ash, what about...
Sorry, Becca.
This won't be long. Be careful while I'm gone, okay?
Hey, be careful. About what exactly?
I don't want to draw attention to myself either. At least not until he's giving me the proper reason to spoil his little party.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see.
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again.
For now, the best I can do is wait, blending in the crowd, and remain inconspicuous. Conspicuous to cast less suspicion about myself. Zach and Rebecca too, as much as possible. Even it meant having pretend I don't know them and forcing myself to rub elbows with people I barely know, let alone like. I can't involve them, especially with the added risk of having Chief here, whose motives are dubious at best. Wondering is out of the question this early as well, when there are guards and civvies stationed here and there to make sure noisy guests don't go about untended. Going past it is something I can't do with ease, but I'd rather not right now when I'm one of the few snooping and roaming around. It'll be best trying to do so when there's a crowd of people. If their interior designer drunken claim to be believed.
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing.
It all comes down to how well I'll play my cards tonight. With a good hand, this party's giving me the breakthrough I need to crack Luke right, or something prove my suspicion wrong. Either or. Maybe find out what kind of game my boss is also playing. I've had an inkling before, a few hunches tempered down by how much of a bumbling fool the man appears, in spite of his rank in the force. But one does not simply deal with the rights to get invited to a party they'll host without wanting anything from either of the two, or the other way around. So, with the last worry glanced at two, I head into the ballroom where the party's at. I just hope this will not complicate things further. Shit. By the time party comes to full swing, night has fallen, yet there still isn't a Luke right in sight. I'm aware, and likely the rest of the upper class Luxborn, how ostentatious the man can be. Frankly, I am impressed. I don't even know how many Whores Devore. Is that how you spell it? How do you say it? I've gone my hands on and stuffed my face with it during the wait. I probably had too many devil eggs and As it is, the server already giving me a stink eye every time I saunter over the buffet table. Blame your employer, not me. He's the one who has guts to show up late. Besides, most of the guests' idle talk is concentrated in this area. Since I'll be stuck in the ballroom for a while, I must keep an ear out for any useful info gossip that might slip. Despite standing in the same room with the very people they're whispering about, some just can't resist.
Is Suarez still fixing that tech problem? Tech problem?
It's been 3 years. Sooner or later, the Blighter will put 2 and 2 together.
He might have already.
If the red tape I'm being slammed with these past months suggests anything, that was someone has been pulling the strings. I wouldn't be shocked. This case would not have gone this long if Scumbag doesn't have a meal with some kind of force.
Shush you, we all know Suarez just wants an out.
I knew he was bad news the day the merger with Evans Incorporated happened.
Fair. Glad I did not have to deal with that. But keep it down, someone might hear. The wife especially.
Oh no. Now I feel sorry for Hannah. This kind of a negligence is always an advantage for me. However, at times, I wish I can be smashed drunk while doing so. Having sharp ears also meant hearing the most unsavory things. Who cheated on who this week? One person motive for bashing another's skull against the wall. Or father excuse for burning his own daughter alive. Those sort of stuff. Those are horrible. After a few years, it gets tiring. You get desensitized at some point. Yes, but humans can be downright awful. Sometimes there just isn't enough brain bleach in the world. Sadly, the wine I have on hand is no go tonight, mostly for show. I'm off for another drive later, for one, and I definitely want to be sober in case anything comes up. And something always comes out in an assignment like this, no matter how routine and peaceful things may be. A detective inspector dying of cardiac arrest, for example. Because I can feel the moment my heart grinds to a halt the second I shift my eyes to a corner of the ballroom. There, Rebecca standing right next to
Hannah Wright.
Some will point out I'm acting a bit paranoid. Maybe I am. This is a party and she's the hostess. It goes to say she will take the time to mingle with her guests. While Hannah Wright, Nee Evans, isn't a woman without her fair share of acolytes. At least to the public, she isn't. Unlike her spouse, she's the one with business sense, not to mention the impressive track record needed to manage a company, or effectively hide whatever irregularity there might be. Although she is clean, as far as my agents have found out, it doesn't rule out her possibility of involvement with whatever her husband is up to. Even Zeman's personal opinion about the woman, certainly gut feelings, you really can't easily shake off. Hell, Luke Wright came out clean according to previous report until I bothered to take a deep look into it. The official records may say otherwise, but people will be surprised how much of a random busybody knows about their employer. What I've gleaned may not be sufficient to bring anyone to trial yet, but enough to nurture suspicion. Assuming the worst may be a bit of overreaction as I walk calmly towards them, but one doesn't last long as I have my line of work being careless.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Just some small talk, nothing to worry about. Like I initially thought. In fact, she's probably even more careful with appearance than her own husband, knowing how to handle herself in front with so many potential witnesses, having grew up with the spotlight focus on her. Yet, even knowing that, the anxiety stays. It has been there since the party started. Thinking about it, I brushed it off earlier. Who wouldn't feel itchy, right? I've gone undercover in a party hosted by the very person I'm investigating. That in itself is risky. Has a plenty of room for error. Usually though, the tension passes around the first hour or so, and I've been trained to remain composed in a situation like this. However, with each second I spend here, it only grows heavier, seeking to overwhelm, an odd feeling that someone is watching me instead. Yet people will will be looking at me, no matter how small group would blip on their radar. That's what they do in these things. After all, I'm someone they barely know, hardly beyond in the world. I stand out for one reason or another. I should already be useful because of my training. Boy, he thinks a lot. I just have to say, he thinks too much. I mean, he could have narrated it himself, but it's like there's a lot of text than I used to. But when the feeling of ice burning to my back lingers longer than necessary, I know something's wrong. I've been looking around every now and then to catch the culprit guilt of the act. No luck. No matter my efforts to push the sensation as far down as I can, it really bothers me. Prickling sting in the back of my head, the ghost of a cold touch crawling creeping onto my limbs, until I switch my gaze back to Rebecca and hand out right. What the crap? Ash sees this now? She stands there, dark hair and dirty, sticking out like a sore thumb from the rest of the room. Even so, no one seems to notice. Though she's now looking straight back at me, her mere existence here strikes, disturbs, a sense of tunnel vision blind, while I simply stand stock still and gape at her, like my life depends on the making sure she stays where she is. I feel trapped under her presence until another guest bump into me, yanking me out of my stupor. Only then I realize I've been holding my breath. Before I can figure out what has happened, she's gone. Even it's only a split second, she's out of my line of sight. A quick scan of the room yields no sign of her. The party continues as if nothing amiss. I'm not really the one to judge, but I'm sure someone like that wouldn't have been allowed in a fancy thing like this. She wouldn't have been hauled out of here before she can say Jack Robinson. What was the security been doing? Under security they hire really that incompetent for someone so distinct to easily get in without notice? None of these snoopy rich people have been affected by her presence either. There should have been an outcry for a dirty beggar by now, particularly from the host. She's been standing there almost an arm's length away from the woman, and yet she simply continued to talk with Rebecca.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Is there something in the food then? That I'm starting to see things? It couldn't have been the wine though. I am every bit as sober as when I first stepped on my car. I didn't even take a single sip, despite taking a glass off the buffet on my third trip back. I know you can pronounce that. I had so much after that, but why would anyone want to do that? Why would Luke Wright want to do that? He's fishy though. I can't see why he'll ever think about it would be a good idea to lace the food he served in his party. Damn it, Ashton! Just do something! Near yourself, right? With the high-ranking officer like chiefly on his guest list to boot. He has been linked to a narcotic trade. Yep. However, this is above him. That much I can tell. Unless there's a mass murder waiting to happen here tonight. Morbid thoughts aside, I don't feel any different. Can't take out my symptoms with a hallucinogen in my system. Nobody else from the crowd looked like they've been duped as well. And we have all been eating the same food. Both Rebecca and Zach appear fine to me. So
What the fuck was that?
So that's all you had to say? Like I had to narrate everything? Oh, this is gonna be a long narrative chapter. What the fuck was that? Can't really put it more eloquently than that. But there's no time to pull apart the meat of this mystery. Not even a single silence comes upon the room and draws everybody's attention to the main door of the ballroom, where finally Luke Wright decided to grace out the slow pheasants with his mobile existence.
About damn time.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the Wright Mansion.
I've been tailing this guy for a while now. Before that, I've heard stories from previous officers who tackle his investigation. None of them are pleasant. Mind, I'm not counting the incident with Professor Clark. Yet pleasant is a glossing word over the gravity of it. While Wright's good at covering whatever shading stuff he's doing, he's shown to be a real rotten guy. At least, there's a case when he thinks none of his peers are around to judge him. I've lost track how many counts of verbal abuse and harassment case this guy can be pinned with during the time I've been watching him. Standing in the same room as him now doesn't make me want to punch him any less. Actually, the urge is stronger this time, but protocols. My case, first and foremost. My own opinion of the man shouldn't gotta hit my purpose here. If I want to put in his place, it'll be in court, without proper charges filed against him. I'll only be able to progress to that once I gather enough evidence to pin this bastard down.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen, if you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses, as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
Suppressing my annoyance, I prepared to step away from the crowd that has gathered around him. Amidst the cheers and claps, now's a good time as any to move, to find out that's something the McCullough woman talked about. In the first place, I have no plan to actually shake his hand. Shake hand with the slime ball himself. A fake smile is plastered on my face while I pretend to listen one of the other guests gossiping about him, all while slowly inching out of the ballroom. Unfortunately, before I can get any further, the whole drama starts.
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle? Perhaps you need to sit down and...
Man, they had to show this like 4 times now? But I'm not a guest who's here for a good time. I need to focus on him. Every mistake he might make or words he might accidentally spill, even through this whole sorry tale. Hell, although I lost my chance because of this, the whole thing might be just still tell me something that will turn to a breakthrough for the case. This may just be what I needed. Really, instead of trying to sneak about, odds are security are all tighter now. The guards on the edge for any person who will try to take advantage of this. Damn, I should have left half an hour in. Still, if nothing else, well shit, back to square one. Time to head back where the Shirley is and start thinking my other options. No use staying here longer if there isn't anything. For now, I'll wait, I'll listen, I observe. Interesting, isn't it though? There's the chief inspector's wife. Okay, so that was sort of like a recap. And the recap already taken this much. Okay, cool. No choices yet. Okay, cool. The morning starts quiet. With the commotion from the night before, it's a little too surprising to have wake up this morning well rested. Even the whole Salem well residence seems unusually still. The open hallways, when I step out for a stretch, devoid of tenants out for usual morning sweep of the grounds. No sounds coming from the other units either, or signs with other people just waking up. It's almost as if something's brewing on the horizon. A peaceful night of sleep does the wonder of the moon, though. I have Rebecca's unbelievably comfortable couch to thank for that, I guess. Oh man, to think he could have slept with her. No offense meant to Zach's couch, of course. It really is cozy, comparatively speaking. I can't remember the last time I slept without anything urgent or interrupting. It's a nice break from all the bad news lately. If it isn't the intermittent buzzing from my pocket wake me up, I'll already sleeping in, just to catch a few extra minutes of shut-eye. The rain have stopped before I can move somewhere private, but the sleep have also been effectively kicked out of my system by then. Pity. I can use a little more rest until I have to face another storm I created last night. Of course, I owe Rebecca an explanation. It doesn't matter if it's a whole truth or another hastily spun tale. Although I haven't really figured out what and how in the how part yet. Unlike Zach and Isabella, who don't usually ask for a question and are content with that little I can share. Rebecca's rather quick on the trigger. Those fancy blue games we used to play as children, she's taking well to them. Not the same degree as I have, but still keen enough to figure things out. It would have been set aside for later, though a second soon. My phone rings again, cutting out the rest of my thoughts.
Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers watch out, can't beat me. Looking for trouble? Better not lie. I'm a cool dude, pretty fly for an Asian guy. Sup, I'm Ash from Deluxe City. Baggers watch out.
Is that really his ringtone?
Looking for trouble? Better not lie.
It would have been nice to just chill after last night's or maybe half listen to the news. Sure, it's the same thing we've been hearing lately. Still beats a snitty outside the chili last morning on my phone with my boss. Sighing, I answered, if only to get over with. To hear him so grumpy, however. Now there's something I haven't expected from him at this hour.
Ray, where are you right now?
Sounds like someone got a few drinks last night and is suffering for it in the morning. Just thinking about how this will give me a headache. Immediately, I reach a hand and pinch the bridge of my nose to stave it off.
This is why I won't ever drink myself senseless.
What was that?
Nothing, Chief. A pleasant morning to you too.
He's probably calling to rag me or complain about what happened with his wife, which is really none of my business unless it affects my case. It seems like the usual rich man cheats on wife deal. Although I would have chosen to follow up on it if it weren't somebody else's wife. But figuring it's cheap, hey, I trust him to come clean if the missus is related to the right shady dealings. This is why I left before they even hauled the woman out last night. I'm not going around investigating cheating husband and wives when it's probably just that. Chiefs appear to have a different idea of mine though.
There's nothing pleasant in the morning. Anyway, where are you? I told you millions of times before to keep your lines open.
He did, and not only him. Zach, Rebecca, Isabella, Alvin have said the same thing numerous times in the past. But I was undercover last night. A phone call is the last thing I want to happen when there are other things I need to focus on at the time. Besides, we have the radio and the work issue phones. Why isn't he calling me through those if this is urgent?
Just woke up, sir. As awesome as it is to hear your voice this morning, it really is early. If you could give me a few minutes just to wake myself up, that'd be swell.
No need for that. This won't take long.
Is something wrong? Am I needed at the precinct ASAP?
Oh no, everything's good over there. Just... Look, kid. Frey. Don't take this personally, alright? You're off the Luxborn firm case. Starting today.
Oh no! Well, I did not expect to hear that either. This must be some kind of cosmic joke. I allow some awkward seconds to pass. Chief must have been pulling another one of his awful pranks. Out of his bad mood was severe hangover, maybe? That conclusion doesn't take too much of brain power. Everyone knows when given a chance, he exercises no control with his drinking. If it isn't for his wife causing a stir, he'll probably be trashed an hour at a party. He has likely drank more than have thrown out of the ballroom. Besides, his sense of humor has never been good. It's just infuriating most of the time. But when he doesn't follow it up, I sound a bit frustrated speaking to my superior. I'm not the one to blame.
Wait, no. What? Are you kidding, Chief? Is this one of your practical jokes again? The Temps won't say anything about it, but
It's not that. They're orders from the higher-ups.
Ah, higher-ups. Yes, my favorite word. Since when has a higher-up ever cared about the criminal investigation department did? As far as I can tell, they don't give a hoot if CID is filled with the cold cases, as long as we keep up the spending load. When I need to view those old cases filed though, they lock it away in archives. You're gonna have to check with the higher-ups. I need access to those reports. See the higher-ups will allow it. Every step, every move in this case. There isn't one that hasn't been gated by some authority. If it's not the chief, it's the commissioner. or so they always tells me. It makes one wonder how they bother assigning it to anyone. Not a single one of them has done anything to help move the case. And they wonder why it has taken this long for even a hint of progress to show.
You can't just drop this on me. You can't just take me off like that.
Yes, I can. And I'm sorry, Ashton. You're a good detective. One of the best I've seen in years, but...
3 years, Chief. 3 years.
3 years since that anomalous tech leak blew up. Since Luke Wright's name has been openly linked to several nasty dealings within Locksmore corporate world, some of them involving deaths. 3 years, I'm the only one who's made it this far. Made much progress. Officers with more experience haven't been able to do so when they handle this case. Just with an ear and barely any help from the damn brass at that. Of course, I'll be pissed.
Do you know what would have happened if I didn't work my ass off on this thing? If I didn't dedicate a whole year of my time on it? It would have gone cold, like every fucking case Luke Wright has been linked to. I saved this from getting thrown into the archives, sir. I'm getting close. If you could just...
I'm fully aware of what you've done, Frey, but the Commissioner hasn't been happy with your progress. Still too slow by their standards.
Too slow? Well, what about those reports I filed? I've documented every freaking thing for them. I've given you every important lead I can gather. Isn't that enough?
They need results, not a bunch of research papers. Not one baseless assumption after another. Concrete proof, Frey. I'm really sorry. They've already made a decision. They're going to pass this on to someone who's been in the force longer. Someone who has more experience.
Someone who has more experience?
They meant nothing by it, but you're still too young to work on a case this big.
Chief, I've already done more than what those old farts ever did behind their desks. All of it, within just a year of being assigned to this.
Watch your language, Frey. Those are your superiors,
I'm not some damn rookie fresh out of training. I'm as qualified as they are.
Futile, I know it is. They'll never say it within earshot, but from every moment I step in their precinct, a lot of them has underestimated me. From their stairs alone to the assignments I get, to them I'm just a kid, too young, too green, too inexperienced. Once they pull a car on me, every argument I gets thrown out the window, no matter how logical it is, no matter how much I accomplished. What the record says when the amount of work I put into every investigation to throw my way.
We're all aware of your skills, kid. You wouldn't have that badge and rank if you weren't good enough. However, this case is just not for you. Too high profile, too risky to put a good officer like you in harm's way.
Can he even hear himself? The reason he's on himself. No one joins the line of work without knowing the danger of it.
Don't I get a second chance? You said it yourself. I'm a good detective. It'll just be a matter of time before we can close this.
It doesn't matter what I think, Frey. You're off the case, and that's final. I expect all related files and documents on my desk by Monday morning. And don't even try to go touch anything. I know how hard-headed and determined you are.
Chief, please. A few more weeks. I'll have the proper evidence left on your desk by then. I swear it won't take longer than that.
Afraid it's too late, boy. I've already informed the other officers.
Oh man.
You aren't to be allowed access until you've been given a new assignment. Hell, just keep out of the precinct, Frey. Take the weekend off.
Seriously, Chief, is this about last night? If this is about me being at that party, I have a good reason for...
You were at the party.
Oh no. It makes me pause. His worried tone, his sudden careful note in his voice. Slowly a frown forms my face, my brow knitting together in confusion. Much as I hate to say this about my own boss, there's also suspicion in it. Hard not to think of it that way, seeing how he acted around Hannah Wright last night. Is he worried? But why should he be? Why should he? Anyone was invited. Granted, his presence sprouted plenty of questions, but I didn't doubt for 1 second why he received one. There's something wrong, and I unintentionally walk into it. in the process of saving all the work I've been doing. Who knows though? All I have been is sneaking suspicion. But when one looks at it from a different angle, puts everything together, what the hell I've been taking out the case might be the same reason he's there in the first place. Fuck.
Yes, Chief, I was. For a good reason. A friend invited me to go with her. What were you doing there? I know we don't have a strict rule against attending functions, but that was...
He coughs and almost like he's choking on his own. Excuses? Lies? I don't want to accuse him of anything, yet he's someone I respect since I joined the LPD. Even his bizarre sense of humor and tendency to procrastinate. He's obviously competent enough to get the job done. He won't be Chief Inspector Locksmith place if he isn't. He won't last year in service without some track record backing him. Unless that too is a fluke, and what's backing is not something, but someone. Oh shit. Fucking hell. Fucking shit.
Chief Harvey, about last night with the...
Why does it matter, Frey? This isn't about that.
What does it matter? What does it matter? I already said the whole oath would be taken upon the sworn in the service if I can. By this point, it seems too late to remind him of that. He's probably already moved from serving and protecting people to serving and protecting his own interests. Damn it. I've suspected the upper brass of this, even the lower rank subordinate in the force, but from my own boss? Shit. No wonder that leak didn't lead anywhere. Someone closer might have been pulling the strings. I might have been set up to fail long before the fucking case had been assigned to me. But I don't want to just give this up. I don't want to believe I wasted an entire year for this. I don't want to be in this kind of news to tell Professor Clark. After all those promises I've been giving the man.
I just want to know, sir, at the party, with Luke and Hannah Wright, you were...
Monday, Detective Inspector. First thing in the morning. Every copy of the files you have, I want to see all on my table, understood?
This isn't...
Frey, am I understood?
What else can I do other than smile and nod? With my own superior expecting the answer, using that tone, brushing my question off as easy as the escorting a dead body.
Yes, sir.
He cuts the line as soon as the words are out. Damn, Chief, I didn't know you were in on this. You're off the case, Frey. Just like that. Funny though, why this hasn't caught me off guard. I've discovered years ago how different the actual thing is. How far the reality everything I believe is just a dreaming eye kid. There are no high-speed pursuit every day, no thrilling gunfights or exciting cases every step of the way. Only paperwork, lots of red tape, and dealing with the politics and bureaucracy. I've set out to change things, hoping it'll make things better for the people I care about. It ends up changing me instead. Serves me right, I guess, for being too idealistic. Probably telling me that it's better to remain the skeptic I really am. Now here I am, standing useless. Can't even do anything but grit my teeth and kicking the wall as the line finally goes dead. The bastard didn't even acknowledge my response.
What did the poor wall ever do to you?
It figures Rebecca would be the one to find me in this embarrassing state. Honestly, I don't like when she sees me like this, which seems to happen a lot regardless of what I want.
Rebecca, now's not a good time.
The concern I expect on her when I return isn't there, however. Instead, she just looks annoyed. The storm I've left brewing last night is right there in her face, ready to be unleashed.
When is it ever a good time for you? You're always so busy with everything now. And how I find you here, sneaking out without even bothering with a proper goodbye, not even a word. Really, I'm starting to think you're just keeping me around for my couch and my cooking.
Becca, it's not what you're thinking. I wasn't planning on sneaking out. I was going to say goodbye. I just had to take this call. Although, I'm not gonna lie, couch is great. 10 out of 10. Would sleep again.
Stop it with the jokes, Ashton. I'm not in the mood.
The bitterness in her voice is not lost on me. But at this point in our friendship and our lives, how does she expect me to answer that? What am I supposed to tell her now?
Are you still mad about last night?
She merely raised an eyebrow at me, which to be honest, is all the response I need. Seeing her like this, very clearly ticked off, makes me believe those things Zeman says. The part where Rebecca scares him, sometimes. I've certainly seen this more than once already, but familiarity in it doesn't take the way the downhill turn this conversation is starting to take. Only an awkward cough serves as a brief way out to stall.
Okay, of course you're still mad. But whatever happened last night, I really am sorry. I'll apologize as many times as you want. If you want, I'd even kneel or something.
Ashton, an apology is nice and all, but that's not what I wanted to hear from you today. You know that full well.
Oh shit.
Alright, fine, okay. Where do you want to start?
Oh, I don't know. I've honestly lost track of it by your third trip to the buffet table.
I wasn't... The drive up there took a bit. Can you blame me if I wanted to grab some appetizers?
Oh, come on, Ash. For the whole evening? For the whole party? Please don't tell me that's all you did, because I've never known you as someone who pigs out. You even took great lengths to avoid me. Should I also mention how you ignored Zach? Sometimes I get the feeling you don't want to be seen with us out in public. Some friendship, huh?
You know it's not like that. It's never going to be like that, Becca.
Maybe you even just used me to get into the party.
Oh no.
You said yes to being my +1, but you were rather excited to just peel yourself off, weren't you? Honestly, I'm feeling a bit used.
I would feel like that too. Becca's great. I can't even look her in the eye. It's not I lied to her. I honestly wanted to be there, to keep Zach safe, to keep Rebecca safe, just in case. Client or family friend. It's still a party hosted by the person of interest, but a man accused years ago of murdering a person's wife to get what he wants. But then the chief showed up, Hannah Wright happened, and the Luke Wright just can't be bothered died out peacefully somewhere. All of a sudden, none of my original reason matters. If I was to find out right then and there, hell, if Zach and Rebecca connection with me was found out, who knows what could happen. But Rebecca doesn't understand that. Doesn't understand what I can and can't say to keep them from harm. It's all in her eyes. The tight line for her lips in her furrowed brows. The hurt.
I'll ask this again. Just what were you up to during the party? What were you doing that you couldn't even take 2 seconds to make time for your friends?
The day is just off to a wonderful start. First my case, now Becca. Oh man. Alright, I'm gonna go with the one that alright, see with Becca. I'd rather be more with Becca. Did I just lower it? Did I just lower it? I don't. Hold on. Hold on, guys. Oh no, I just lowered it. It's confidential. Crap. Alright.
It's confidential, Rebecca.
Alright, cool. That's fine, I'll take that. I'm cheating, but I am. I wanted the good ending. I wonder how many times I've told that to her. And not just her, my dad, my mom, Zach, and Isabella too, when their questions sometimes call for a quick diversion, to make sure they're all safe, to keep them out of danger. How many times I have told them what essentially boiled down to mind your own business? My job isn't a game. It isn't as glamorous as TV portrait to be. I had thought so, too, as a child. I was too clueless back then, wasn't I? But boy, did I learn. Sometimes we do get daring chases of spectacular bursts. Those days when adrenaline runs through our veins makes bullshit that Hollywood shows feel real. But it isn't always clean cut as that, of course. We can never know how an operation might go. If we're lucky, we put the culprit behind bars. But it's mostly bad news. If the universe feels a tad bit antagonistic, there'll be plenty of closed cases, dead ends, and dead bodies at disposal. The good guys don't always win. Justice isn't always served. Investigations is not looking at a crime scene once to get in the eureka moment. It's sleepless nights at a crime lab with tech guys. It's several days wearing the same clothes with the Chinese takeout stains because I'm sticking out of the place. It's frustrating. It's frustration when bureaucracy hinders you from looking into a case any further, or when you know there's suspect guilty but they get away with scot-free on the technicality. It's seeing anger and pain, despair with every case. Facing a crap load of paperwork is what we consider a good day.
I know you have a mountain of questions, but I've told you this so many times before. I can't say much more than that.
Still, the look on Becca's face, the resentment and pain, it hurts me as well to think that I'm the cause of that. It's a familiar one too, something I've seen a lot over the years. I wonder how long it'll take until Zach give me the same one. Or until I hurt Isabella in the way that apologizes won't even be enough. What a mess. I'm a mess, and it's the people close to me who have suffered for it.
Official police business, huh? So you did use me?
Used. The way she utters just makes me feel like a total scumbag. It's not like I did it on purpose. I just can't hold someone else responsible for this, right? And who am I going to blame? The chief? Hannah right? Luke right? Doing so feels like cowardice. It doesn't change the fact I'm the one who put us in this situation. I can't even look at her anymore, with the skill eating me up inside. But then she laughs, half-hearted, with barely a hint of cheer in it, but it's a laugh nevertheless. Oh no. I honestly don't know what to make of that, what to do with myself upon hearing it. It's almost like the mere sound out of it's meant to be pierced.
Well, the least you could have done is tell me. Maybe I could have helped, kept an ear and an eye out for you. I don't know. I could have been Irene Adler, maybe?
Her smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. With the mask, she tries so hard for me. Putting out me like this, I have to give her a smile back, though I imagine it comes off the same enthusiastic note as hers. It's far easier to slip back into banter when it's like this. Just to brush out and set aside everything. At least this way, we don't have to deal with awful things.
The woman? Don't flatter yourself. Nancy Blue, more like.
Her sidekick would beg to differ, Ashett.
Ashett! That's a new one. I can't stop a worried grin from the form of my lips. She probably still had the photo from that contest, keeping her old diary. I can never find either the two anymore after I threatened to burn it. I've never brought it up again in the hope she would just forget about the whole thing. But a small smile on her says a lot. Those were good times. A lot simpler, a lot more peaceful. Now things have changed. We're no longer the same people we were as kids. Growing up together doesn't mean it always has to be just the two of us in the first place. It's a dumb notion to believe in. When nothing ever remains constant, things will always inevitably change through the years. In fact, it already has long ago. Not just the people we're allowed to in our respective lives, but also within us, as person, as friends. It really does get complicated as we get older, doesn't it? Not everything has to be, though. Even it will take a form in a promise I have no idea when I'll be able to fulfill.
I swear, I'll explain when it's all over.
The silence afterwards brings an even heavier between us. Something Rebecca thankfully doesn't allow to linger more than necessary.
I suppose you have to go now, huh?
The situation is already awkward as it is. Prolonging will probably make it more difficult, messed up, as if it isn't already. In some way, the lack of words is already understanding in itself. That's better to leave things for now and talk about it when the wounds are no longer fresh in our minds. At least, it's something we both outwardly agree to on the moment.
Back to your case again?
I don't really have to. I have no choice. I have no case. As far as the job concerned, I have the weekend off until I report to the chief on Monday. Although I don't want to be just thrown out in the towel like this. Orders are orders. This isn't like the movies. I don't get to say fuck off, throw my gun and badge at him, become self-vigilant, save the day, and get my job back. I soon get my ass thrown to jail than do any of that. But it's also not in my nature to sit still and do nothing. It drives me crazy if I just idle out about. Besides, Professor Clark has to know this whole thing. This whole Luke Wright thing.
Yeah, I need to go talk to Professor Clark. And there's something else I need to look into.
That other matter she mentioned last night, specifically. The same stuff Zachary has also trying to tell me. Things have been news since blasting out the general populace lately. Evening, afternoon, morning, all deaths with the same motives, blaming on a single serious killer. Where is it still the case?
In the early hours of the morning's day. The body was continued in the room and no other tenants were harmed, according to Luxton police.
Frankly, there's one lead we have at this moment. Of the crime scenes where the victims have been found, where it has been vandalized with the same message as that letter. It is something, though. Nothing substantial to go by. Granted, I bring up the letter Isabella find it mentioned, but chances are they'll just pass by it as coincidence. And coincidence is never substantial, never enough in my work. There must be something we haven't seen yet. And the culprit has simply exploited those urban legends to hide its crimes. Relatively speaking, we're grasping at the straw as far as these murders are concerned. I'm not even the one heading this investigation, yet look at me treating it as another high-profile case on my shoulder. How sad is that? Even LPD doesn't have an inkling on what we're supposed to be looking for here. Although all three of my friends have mentioned seeing something strange, I don't want to go into the line of thinking for now. Particularly how much every news outlet has blown this up. Not yet, until I have exhausted every logical reason and argument I can throw at it. To tell the truth, though, I don't even know how to take all this anymore. I've already given Isabella my word. It bothers me more if I don't follow up on the promise I made to her. And after Rebecca's claim last night, I'm not so sure now. If the decision meant to be pacified or part of me just desperate to put a stop to these deaths. It also goes to say that there won't be enough sarcasm in the world. If what they're saying is true, Isabella's laughter already echoes in my head, in fact.
Figures. What else can it be?
Dude, I just have to say, Ashton thinks all this in a split second, while Becca just standing there. Seriously, come on.
It's not another case. It's something else. That issue Isabella mentioned yesterday morning. I'm sure you remember. You were there.
Well, at least you're not neglecting all your friends.
Becca, I promised her I'll...
She doesn't wait for me to finish. With a roll of eyes, she turns around and shuts the door in my face. I have no idea what I say this time, but...
I probably deserve that.
We're just gonna have to mend this some other time. By then her temper is sure to have cooled off significantly. Hopefully. For now, I can laze around and gotta attend to things that matter more. Professor Clark first. There are the bad news, and then the issue with BRC and Isabella. Maybe I'll also drop by Zach's, check on him, hear what he has to say. He's also read that damn letter. He also has been saying odd things about a bunch of photographs. I might as well, while I'm here, playing a paranormal detective, or is it supernatural? I can't remember. There certainly isn't something I'll bother with my free day. I'm going to be a laughter stock at the present. If anyone finds out I'm considering this as a possible angle for these murders. Inspector Abigail and Officer Carl mostly. Whatever. It wouldn't hurt anyone if we just try to get a bottom of this. No one has to know. Either. If nothing comes out of it, then good. Everyone can shut up shut up about the stupid curses and we can finally get back to track with our lives. On to more important stuff. If there's something.
Are you two done?
Her voice instantly jerks me out of my thoughts and my head snaps in search of her. There's a moment of confusion I don't see her familiar ponytail about, only to find her standing behind the door to her apartment. Seconds later, Isabella holds it open, though only slightly as to hide from anyone who might have to pass by. This early and on a lazy weekend, I doubt anyone will. But from the gap of what little light there is behind her, I can make out the appearance of someone who's just clearly gotten out from bed. Hair complete in disarray, eyes still heavy with sleep, and a small pot on her lips. I can tell why she doesn't want to be seen by anyone yet. She hasn't even got out of her pajamas. I look away, long before my sense of decorum kicks in. We might be friends, but I dare say we've grown closer over the years, but it doesn't extend beyond the boundary of priority. Priority. Christ, even Rebecca never greets an early visitor in her sleep clothes. Though maybe it's our fault she's waking up this early, checking the ones making the ruckus outside her room. Still, heat makes a slow crawl up my neck, one that I quickly downplay in a solid cough.
Isabella, you're up early.
Lame.
No, I'm not. I'm usually up at this hour. You're the one that usually sucks at getting up early.
Oh no, so Ashton actually liked Isabella. Is that right? Oh man. I don't know, man. I don't know if I should... Ah, damn. Alright.
Says the person who looks like she's just fallen out of bed.
Instead of a usual quip, she simply looks away. Avert her gaze to some point beside her, although it only flashes briefly across our face. An expression of hurt flickers in her eyes. It disappeared the second she turns attention back to me. But that fleeting moment has sent a worried churn out of my stomach. I've seen her in plenty of times before, just never a manner that unsettles. It feels like, I don't know, off this time? I didn't say anything wrong, did I?
Hey, are you...
Anyway, was that Becca with you? You both sound like Mama and Papa when they fight. You're awfully loud. If we get another memo from the landlady, I'm asking the guard to ban you from ever entering this place.
Me? Becca's the one almost shouting.
Yeah, well, she lives here. You don't. You have no excuse. You're the suspicious-looking person.
Thanks. Glad at least one person appreciates how I pretty up this place.
Don't flatter yourself. This place would be so much better without having to see your face every few days.
She follows up with another pout. Her rival appearance, particularly how she puffed her eyes are, I noticed just now, take away from the intimidating effect she's trying to exhibit. In the first place, she's not the kind who looks terrifying. Rebecca's more capable of pulling that off. Isabella, not so much. She's going to have to try harder than that. There are times when she can and does, though, only on a bad day and when she means it. Really, right now, she just appeared more like an angry puppy. I might as well just laugh had it not given me another nagging sense that something is definitely wrong with her. What? Has she been crying earlier? That is worrying. She really does that. The only time it happened, the one time I've seen her generally tears over to something, I think it was after Devlin Court the night at the bridge. I won't ask. She seems determined to keep her to herself though. In the moment she senses out the question coming, she deflects. Changes the subject, cuts me off, faster than I can wave two words in a proper sentence.
Belle, did something...
About yesterday, Ash. The things we talked about. Do you think we can take a look at it today?
We? I never said you're coming with me. Don't worry, I didn't forget about it. You'll be the first to know if I find anything.
No, I want to go with you. I'll be ready in a few. This won't take long.
Isabella, you really don't have to. I can handle it on my own. You'll just...
I won't get in the way, I promise. Besides, maybe I can help. You know, if you if there are files you want to check.
I don't like what she's implying. It's true LPD had a hard time with this, but taking Isabella with me, it's out of the question. Under normal circumstances.
You're the one who's going to get in trouble if you do that.
You said it yourself. You need information, and I can help you get that. And it's not like it matters anymore. I just don't want to stand around doing nothing today.
I think she's afraid. There it is again, the slight shift in her eyes. The mild crease formed between her eyebrows, and the mild slump in her shoulders, while she crossed her arm tightly around herself. Likely she's shielding herself whatever pain thing there is out there. I have plenty of reasons why I shouldn't let her tag along. First and foremost, she's a civilian. Second, I have no concrete plan of action yet. I'm going into this blind. No matter how I look at it, it's simply better for her to just wait, without being dragged into what have been another one of my failures. Her assumptions might be another dead end for all we know. But seeing that expression on her, hearing her speak those words outly in a desperate, almost pleading tone, I can't bring myself to say no. So I allow it, I give in. Because right there, I see myself in her. The person who doesn't want to stay idle. Who doesn't want to think of the problem haunting him.
All right, 5 minutes.
What? You're timing me?
Well, I can't wait forever. I'm a very busy guy. 4 minutes and 45 seconds, Isabella.
I hate you so much.
4 minutes and 30 seconds, 29, 28. I'd hurry if I were you.
Ugh, you're awful. I hope you never get a girlfriend.
For some reason I want... Oh man. I kind of the idea of Ash getting along with Isabella. And Rebecca too. Am I a mean person? She slammed the door right after. Although at my chuckles, the laughter, the lightness of it lingers. With her, those have always come easy somehow. Even as the echoes of dies down, only ghost of a smile remains as I stare at the closed door of her apartment.
It's not like I'm looking for anyone else.
Oh, I want to tell her it's not because I can't. I won't. I'm the one who has chosen not to. Until I fix myself. Until I found myself underneath all that guilt and those lies I've been telling all these years. Because no matter how heavy the weight of these feelings are, I'm not worthy any of them. Of her. Oh no. So Ashton likes Isabella. Until then, little words, gestures are the only things I can offer. Minor stuff such as digging deeper into things with BRC and the words easier worries. I'm not even sure this will bear any fruit, unlike the firm case, which I already have proper leads on. I'm just going by her words on this. Speaking of the Luxport firm case, I still have to inform the professor. The apprehension isn't there for sure. I made a lot of promises to the man, and I would have been preferred to tell him in person, not over the phone. But it's better for him to hear about from me ASAP, rather than from an outside source. Okay, well then he's calling. My grip on the bar surely tightens though once the call connects and the voice rings from the other end.
Oh no, not today.
Not running today, Professor?
He's usually at the park on this late Saturday morning. Okay, I think I'm getting too tired. I'm gonna stop. Alright. But before I stop, let's save and check out the branching tree. Oh my, that's an hour. That's an hour of talking. This is an hour of talking, guys. This could be like 10 hours of story. Actually, these long lines might help. So we are looking at a very long case. And Ashton is the one that's moving the story fast. So right now, it's no longer in anybody's timeline. We're actually starting like a new line. So up until now, we've just been covering people from what happened before with their own respective timelines. You know, like from within this time zone, what happened to everyone. Like, so Ashton's actually, you know, on top of that, and this is kind of exciting. So, oh damn. All right, so I should go to sleep. I have to get up early. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time while I get some snoops. Right, thank you guys. I'll see you later. I always appreciate it. See you guys watching. So, thank you guys. Peace out.